Hi, my name is Sheila Carreno. Welcome to Handbook for the New Paradigm, uh, volumes one, two, and three. This is volume three, Becoming. For those of you who may be following along in the book with me, I am on page 253. This is the very first chapter, and it begins. The messages contained in this third book of messages are a continuation of information provided for the transition of hearts and minds of those of humanity that are willing to be a catalyst for change. And quite frankly, if you are here listening to this now, that means you. And by the way, I'm reading this to myself for the first time as I'm sharing it with you. We do have a book study group, but we are back in volume. We're just going to be starting volume two. Back to the book here. It is an undeniable truth that the current pattern of use and abuse of the planetary resources will lead to the end of its ability to sustain life forms. Personally, I feel that is this being's part of it is their own experiential filter. My feeling is this planet would shake us off like so many fleas off of a dog's back before she would allow that to take place. She has seen the rise and fall of many civilizations. We are certainly not the first. The human body and awareness are being deliberately overwhelmed physically, psychologically, and magnetically. The majority of humanity fails to understand that unseen forces surrounding them are affecting their ability to survive. These are hidden within the quote modern conveniences powered by alternating electrical current through radio, television, and many other low frequency emanations that now alter the individual's and the planet's magnetic fields to an unimaginable degree. Just as human scientists experiment using what are considered, quote, lesser species, with little concern for their suffering and death in the name of, quote, scientific advancement, so also is humanity considered a lesser species and to be used in like fashion. Quote, you are being used in exactly that way, with the full knowledge and participation of those humans who believe themselves a part of the controlling hierarchy. These misguided humans are under the direct supervision of those beings that desire to continue to control this planet and others. The evolving conscious awareness of humanity has again evolved to a level that is considered dangerous. There are many that are now aware of this very real outside influence through the history revealed in the artifacts that were not destroyed or hidden, and by reaching logical conclusions about the sightings of various spacecraft as well as interaction with their occupants. These interactions have been both face to face and telepathic. The evidence indicates the presence of outside powers trying to continue the long-standing control of Earth and its solar system. There are also those that are a positive presence, hoping to be of assistance to an awakening humanity that must be willing to take on the responsibility for determining its own future in order to receive this available help. Humanity has itself blocked the answer to its long-standing cry for relief from enslavement by the outside forces because it has been educated to ask for its, quote, rescue to come from an unknowable being that is in actuality a part of the controlling forces. Deception for control has been very successful for thousands of years. Quote, worship your controller has been the ploy. Mankind has very little time left to wake up to this strategy and cooperatively agree that it is time to end this charade once and for all. And I want to pause here and say again, this book was published in 2018. Most of these channelings took place way before that and were being disseminated through email. Each book was published and freely given out, also encouraged to share amongst others. And as I said, I kind of feel like this actually has changed in these moments of now. Not wholly, but quite a bit. Those who would assist must be a group that is willing to research and prove to itself beyond a shadow of doubt the truth of this outstanding pronouncement of the global situation. And that's kind of why I feel the way I do. There's been an uptick, if you will, of folks educating themselves about the truth of who and what they are and what actually is taking place. No one really has the full answer to that for certain, but in my view, back to the book here, it must realize that humanity has to create its own future or remain in the circumstances of terrible slavery that are planned for them. Both the positive and negative forces that are focused on this planet are aware that multiple cycles are culminating in this time sequence, which will be to the advantage of either humanity or its colonizers, depending upon which one has the support of the overall planetary consciousness. This support can be either passively or actively understood. It can therefore be readily understood that if humanity does not make a clear choice to own this planet for itself, it is passively supporting continued enslavement and giving away its natural resources for the use of others rather than for itself. I feel we can see this energetic widely now, right? For me, I can. Rich mineral reserves have been transported from this planet and others in this solar system for thousands of years to enrich the lives of beings that have failed to steward their own planetary resources wisely. Reports of large, quote, motherships are true and they are present for that purpose. It is time for humanity to wake up and people to come together in the understanding that they are wise enough to control their own destiny and to ask for help to, quote, help themselves for the highest and best good for all concerned, end quote. That is a prayer that can be affirmatively answered. Until such time as humans can prove themselves to be cooperative and non-aggressive toward their benevolent neighbors, all help will be given indirectly. That is, these beings will not walk among you until it is safe for them to do so. The help that can be offered will be very effective, but it must be asked for and accepted as assistance and not as rescue. A victim, be it individually or a planetary mass consciousness, has not evolved to a level of responsibility that warrants assistance. A victim consciousness must move through the need to look outside of self and instead look at its own choices to find the causes of its imperfect situation. Now, that's a truer statement than I've heard in a very long time. And it, in some ways, is in direct. That's why I said some of this other feels like, if you're being controlled, that's a victim situation, you see. So there's something has to switch within each being on the planet. Back to the book. Free will is the freedom to choose, and all continuously choose, even if it is to choose not to choose. There are always forces willing to make choices for those unwilling to make their own. It is time for humanity to make its own choices. These messages were written to help you with that and to help with that important process. Well, that's the end of the beginning one of this, and the next one is the very first of this book 3. So I'll be right back with that one. Till next time, move towards what brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. Be well.